This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1043, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
I thought you was going to say me, bruh.
I thought you were going to go with
I
him,
was saving
too.
the best for last. Best for last.
Oh,
Artist,
okay.
producer, mogul, Derek Minor.
I forgot, Emily. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I got to share the pleasure of saying from Nashville
Share
to
the city.
You know what I'm saying?
We have a good show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talked to SEU Worship. They're part of this, we did an article this week at relevantmagazine.com kind of highlighting 5 new worship bands that you need to know about, and SEU was part of that. And there's just an exciting kind of new wave of worship coming up right now, and they are definitely in the middle of that wave. So we talked to them coming up later. We're excited about that. Your feedback's at the end of the show, and we also have Relevant Buzz. But I think before we get going, we need to bring our group chat to the world. And we need to talk balloons.
It was active. It was active this weekend on Super Bowl Sunday.
It had nothing to do with the Super Bowl.
No. I mean, a lot of the world woke up to being excited about the Super Bowl. Not us. First thing, I actually, my little behind the curtain, my daughter has been, as listeners of the show know, I played my flu game. I had my flu game pod last week. That's working its way through the household. So my daughter was sick in the middle of the night on Saturday night. So I got up to help her. She's 7 years old. And I get back. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm up in the middle of the night, it's a while before I fall back asleep. I'm up for an hour or two, right? I can't just turn the light back off. So I start scrolling Twitter, reading the news, and I see that fighter pilots have shot down unidentified aerial objects over, Canada, over a lake, in Michigan.
Yeah.
And
over Alaska.
I become instantly fascinated. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about here, guys, before we get into what these objects are and kind of the speculation. Thanks a lot, China, because now, ever since this balloon, everyone, it's all we're talking about now, is shooting stuff out of the sky, right? And it has just become, because that became such a weird political thing, it's like, if we see anything in the sky, the answer is immediate. Dispatch F-22s and blow it out of the sky with a missile. We all just saw Top Gun, right? The new Top Gun movie, Top Gun 2.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the movie was them planning for this mission. I would love a Top Gun 3 that is literally a 15-minute, and they call Maverick, and they're like, we've got your most dangerous mission yet. He's like, I'm ready. We have a balloon that we want you to pop with a missile. And it's this, okay. What's the training? They're like, oh, there's no training. It's the size of 8 school buses. It's almost impossible to miss. You could shoot the missile in the general proximity, and just the wind of the missile will it is so huge. It's actually a challenge to miss
not hit it. Yeah.
with the balloon.
Yeah.
And most of the movie is just a montage of him high-fiving on the deck of the aircraft carrier after blowing that balloon out of the sky. What an anticlimactic mission if you're a fighter pilot. You're always going to be the one, it's like, hey, what was your best dogfight story? Well, I wasn't really a dogfight guy, but I popped 4 balloons with missiles. Literal hellfire missiles. Against a giant balloon.
Okay, we're recording this on Wednesday. The show's going to come out on Friday, so maybe things will develop between now and then. But I do want to point out to the listeners some things that we've actually learned and shared with each other. So the China balloon. So the one question is, why all of a sudden are we finding all this stuff in the sky? So the China balloon, obviously a few weeks ago, we know about. Well, when that happened, then the U.S. military broadened its radar. So our high altitude radar was just tuned for fast moving objects like planes and missiles. And when we saw the China balloon, which was moved so slowly, it was not detected by radar. They broadened the radar, and that's when they started seeing all these other objects, these other 3 balloons. But what's crazy is these other 3, since the China balloon, are nothing like the China balloon and are not spy satellites from China. That's been confirmed by the military. They fly at a lower altitude. They are more like the size of a 4-wheeler versus this massive balloon that Jesse said is missable. the Chinese balloon flies at 60,000 feet. So I'm thinking balloon is just kind of floating mindlessly up in the sky. No, that balloon had propulsion. It could go left, right, up, down, and could stop and loiter over a spot. They could control it. These other little metal 4-wheeler size things are dumb and they just float with the air. They can't be, there's no propulsion on them. So they're totally different things and nobody knows what they are. I mean, they could be weather balloons. They could be like research balloons from a university or something like that. But you think if they were, the university would have said something like, hey, quit popping our balloons, you know? So like,
well, or it's some garage project, you know what I mean? From just like a little father and son, like, hey, we'll build our own weather balloon.
But they're finding them over Uruguay's airspace and China says that they found some over China's airspace. So it's like, what are these metal 4-wheeler size things that have no propulsion?
Y'all already know what they are. Y'all already know.
I think they're just from someone's birthday party that just, the balloon flew off and like they couldn't catch
what
it.
What 4-wheeler size balloon? Maybe it was a gender reveal. And it just
the aliens told y'all. They said we sick of it. They said we sick of it. We let y'all borrow the planet for
alien
a couple
balloons?
Bro, we let y'all borrow the planet for a couple thousand years. I come back, y'all done made a mess of the whole thing. So they got their little 4-wheeler things, their little things that they use to just research us. They dropped them all around the planet and then they just looking. And then we just shot them down. That's an act of war. Now Zordon is on his way with the strap. And it's not a game. So, hey, enjoy
look,
yourself. Live free. Be happy.
Listen, if this is the alien invasion that we've all been waiting on, and it's just a bunch of balloons, not too bad, guys. I think we really dodged a bullet. I feel like we have a very festive race of aliens that have come to visit us. You know,
we've got
it's
a good
not
chance.
as bad as the movies. If the alien invasion movies were just a bunch of balloons falling and letting us shoot us down, like it's like a carnival game, like darts and balloons. Like this is fun. They're playing with us here. You know, one of the disturbing things is one of the missiles that they shot missed initially. And I saw a story. They're like,
it's going to come down somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, that fighter pilot's like, ready, aim, fire. And he's like sitting there.
Reload.
Why right?
Reload.
We don't have anything. We don't have any weapon in the arsenal that isn't a $500,000 gigantic missile that we could shoot a 4-wheeler size balloon with. Like, we don't have anything slightly smaller.
You just walk up and pop, just pop that bug with a needle.
Yeah, my thing is just fly by it and let the wing clip it and pop it. I mean, like, boop, you know, you don't need to waste. Anyway, I'm very curious.
Or do what you do when you're a kid and like your ball gets stuck in the tree. Just throw a football at it. Like, I just want to see someone riding on the wing of a fighter jet. That's the next.
Lean out of the window.
That's the next Top Gun. Tom Cruise, no shirt, strapped to the wing of a fighter jet with a football, and he just.
So it's one of those biplanes where like he's out on the wing, like in the 1920s. Okay,
isn't it amazing though how politics made this such a crazy thing? It was like, yo, Joe Biden's like, hey, we're studying it. Everybody's like, yo, we're studying it. We want to make sure we shoot it down. We don't want to shoot it down over populated places. Now, and everybody was like, oh, if it was me, I would have shot it with a machine gun. Da 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 da. Now it's like anything in the sky that is not marked correctly, like, you're getting shot down. So I'm just saying, like, look, if you got your prop plane or whatever, you better make sure you put an American flag on the side of it, because that thing is in dire straits right now, bro. Like, let you know, you better slap an American flag on the side of that mug, because I'm telling you, we not playing no more. We not playing with ET. We not playing with Chinese balloons. We're not even playing with regular balloons. I believe if you let some regular balloons up too high into the sky, they shooting them down too. So just letting you know, the block is hot.
You know what? It's like, the thing that baffles me is that these things were so dumb, our radar didn't detect them, right? It's like all of this was existing invisibly. We had no idea. It's like the military went into a bad motel room with a black light and turned off the lights and then saw what was really going on in the room that we couldn't see with our naked eye. You know what I mean? It's like they brought in the radar and all of a sudden there's balloons everywhere, you know?
But instead of cleaning solution, instead of like the aviation version of cleaning solution of like, kind of pushing them out. It's like, we got to blow them up with missiles.
Every time. With missiles.
Don't ask questions. If you see something, blow it up with a missile.
Is there footage of this stuff getting blown up? Can we at least get the footage?
The China balloon, there is footage. There's footage of the big one.
I'm talking about
But
far as these other
when I
things
saw
that
that
got shot down. Is there any footage of those?
I haven't seen a picture of them. They describe them as like jelly bean shaped. Oh yeah, octagon shaped. That's what it was. Octagon shaped, size of a 4-wheeler, smaller than a car. They're metal looking, and they have no propulsion. They just kind of float there at 40,000 feet. They don't see any sort of like devices connected to them, or whereas with the China balloon, they could see the surveillance.
I bet
equipment.
it's Elon Musk.
They don't know.
Elon Musk probably got some stuff. That's like SpaceX, the first one. And he just left it
try
up
to
there.
get to Mars in a balloon.
He just left it up there.
Can I be honest? Oh, that's where I left it. I left a couple advanced weird metal cylinders somewhere.
Oh, I left it in Uruguay. I left it in Uruguay.
I'll be honest. When I saw the video, there's one video of the Chinese balloon getting shot down that was taken from like a cell phone that looks like someone on the beach. Like you can see it, Watching the video of that Chinese balloon getting blown out of the sky, I wanted to start cheering USA right there. I felt extremely patriotic.
USA,
like this 4th of July, when you're at like a bit, like I was at the Washington Nationals game during the 4th of July this past year, and they did like fireworks, and they played like a very patriotic video of like, you have like Mount Rushmore, you have soldiers like coming home, you have like, slow-mo American flag. This year, there better be a couple clips of that balloon coming down, and the stadium.
America. And that's the audio behind it.
It was the most patriotic.
Try your grace on me.
America, America. And it's just multiple shots of that Chinese balloon just getting blown out of the sky with a missile.
Speaking of patriotism, I don't think America has been more patriotic in years other than Chris Stapleton's national anthem at the Super Bowl.
Undeniable.
I mean,
That
grown
football
men
player crying.
bawling. The coach crying. Everybody was crying. Chris Stapleton, man.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a little far.
I think we fly Stapleton up there. I think we put Stapleton in the fighter jet.
That was worship.
And he sings the national anthem as he shoots down a balloon.
The hair blowing in the wind. Yeah.
It was worship of what?
I don't know,
Country?
it was worship of something. Whatever they was thinking in their mind. Like, I ain't crying. Like, look, bruh, hey, now first of all, I know I'm cracking jokes, but the coach for Philly, he said, now this is why I'm gonna give him a pass. Now the other dude, I think it was Kelsey. I don't know if I can give him a pass.
Yeah, Kelsey.
But I'm gonna give the coach a pass because he said he dreamed of that day and he would listen to the Whitney Houston national anthem rendition all the time. So for me, I'm like, okay, the context behind that made all the sense in the world. It's like, okay, you in the moment. It's not about that. Kelsey, I don't know. My man was worshiping. He might have, look, but here's the thing. The way Chris Stapleton sung the song, it literally could have been a gospel song. Like, it could have been a gospel song. Dude. It could have been a song about your significant other. Like, that had a lot of sauce on the national anthem. I found myself standing up in my living room on top of the table. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no American flag in the crib, but I was standing on my table. Dude. It was fire.
That's what I'm saying.
It was so fun to be watching like Twitter discover Chris Stapleton, like Black Twitter in particular. Like, holy cow, this dude is sold. This dude in country, it was great, man. He was awesome.
The next Chinese balloon, I'm telling you, it's a fighter jet with no glass top. It's just convertible. He doesn't have the flight suit or the helmet. He's just got a pair of Ray-Bans.
So he's going to suffocate?
Yes. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. You're only up there. I mean, it's a balloon, man. You can go up, come right back down. You can hold your breath. But
I thought the point was so that he could sing.
I mean, you could. He will sing on the way down on his victory lap. You know,
he's doing
the Blue
some
Angels will join him, and he will be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is USA Donuts. He's going to write USA and then do a bunch of
like
donuts.
Those smoke planes and the skywriting planes.
Wow.
So Chris Stapleton will be in a skywriting plane to shoot down the Chinese balloon, and he will fly in the pattern that says USA.
This is a
USA,
crazy
USA.
visual I just had in my head. It's like I'm just gonna let y'all know. So wow,
he's gonna bring
so
everyone
we putting
together.
him in one of the Jetsons cars, is what you're saying? Like a Jetsons car. He's gonna go up there. He's gonna heavily
But it's
armed
heavily
car
armed.
from the Jetsons. And he gonna go up there and just blow the balloons up.
His hair blowing in the wind, and we're all just on the shore, just get that balloon, light it up.
Can you imagine being in the Air Force and like that is the ultimate thing that you have to go do is like shoot balloons down? Like that's your duty. That's your route.
Hey,
Like you're
serving
on
our
balloon
country.
patrol.
For a country.
I would love to be like one of the like Skunk Works or DARPA, one of those like advanced like weapons things, and like, guys, we got a brand new weapon in the American arsenal, and it's a long broomstick with a nail on the end. They're like it's for
Like a javelin.
we got the robot dogs. Now we got now we have broom with nail tape to the end for the book stick with the nail at the end.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Let's move the show along. Let's talk about some other news. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant Buzz.
She's getting high again. It's a long way through the night. She's going wild, my friend. She's a rocket in the sky. We can make it together. All the things you remember. We can make it together. All the things you
You're listening to Munya. The song is Cocoa Beach. Little fun fact, Cocoa Beach, not a great beach. It's 30 miles from my house, and it doesn't even have like sand. Its sand is like crunched up shells. It's like, ugh. Anyway, much better beaches around here than Cocoa Beach, Munya. Why'd you write that? Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
All right, tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
All right. I feel like we have to start talking with the Asbury University campus revival. Are you guys aware of this? Have you been following it at all?
It's been going on for a month, right?
I've seen some news. Yeah,
It's been like a week.
No, it's
Not
been-
quite a month. It's been about a week and a half.
Yeah.
straight.
Like we said, we're recording February 15th. It started February 8th. So it's been going on for nonstop for a week now. For any listeners that don't know, Asbury University is a private Christian university in Kentucky. And at the time of this recording, 133 hours now, they have been having nonstop worship, praise, just revival happening on campus. And it's been shared on social media. A lot of people from different places all over the country are starting to come. And it hasn't slowed down yet. And, we don't really know where it's going now, but it is interesting to see just on social media. There's been a lot of really cool eyewitness accounts too. I actually want to read one of them from a student who attends the university, Alexandra Presta. She's the editor of the student paper, and her just account of it is really cool. She said, "Peers, professors, local church leaders, and seminary students surround me, all of them praying, worshiping, and praising God together. Voices are ringing out. People are bowing at the altar, arms stretched wide. A pair of friends cling to each other in a hug, one with tears in her eyes. A diverse group of individuals crowd the piano and flawlessly switch from song to song. Some even sit like me with laptops open. No one wants to leave."
It's been. I heard it's also it's now starting to spread. We're getting word that like same thing is happening at Lee University in Cleveland, Tennessee, and rumblings of it sparking at other universities as well, which is really, really cool. Really
and this was pretty organic, right? Like,
yeah, it was just a chapel service. It was literally a chapel service that had a altar call for repentance and stuff, and a bunch of students went up. And during that time of prayer, the worship team started playing, and the student congregation started worshiping, and they just felt, the reports we're hearing is they really felt the Holy Spirit just kind of the Holy Spirit's presence in that place. And so the worship continued and the prayer time continued. And now a week later, it hasn't stopped 24 hours a day.
This is the kind of stories I'm glad we get to cover. Like, I'm glad that we're getting these, because I feel like we constantly have so much bad news that, the news of people just 24 hours just worshiping God, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure people are having great emotional experiences and living on the high. And then now the idea of it spreading, like, that's beautiful. And I think we need things like that to happen. We need God. We need God right now, because it's been a dark couple years. So I'm thankful for any light that we get. So praise the Lord.
Yeah, and I love that it's starting with like college students too, and that because like we've talked about so many times, just the future of the church with the younger generation. There's a lot of ups and downs, and so to see that this is starting with the next generation, these kids in their 20s who just don't want to stop worshiping and are just wanting to keep this going. It's been really cool to see on social media just the way that people have shared videos and talked about their personal experiences that have gone.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing, I'm the staff historian because we've been doing this a long time, and so Emily and I were talking about this, like obviously this isn't new. Revival has happened a lot, but like Relevant was birthed out of something like this that was happening from like the mid 90s to the late 2000s. Like there was like revivals going on that people heard about, like the Toronto Blessing, Brownsville revival and stuff like that. And like, I remember going to Toronto when I was in college and just traveling there because we heard God was moving and we wanted to see it for ourselves. And at the hotel, like there was like groups of college students and like that had like just like I'm talking to them, like they hopped in a van. You're from Indianapolis, they're from Seattle, they're from Florida. And like, they just heard God was moving and they just got their friends and they got in a van and just came. And like, that's starting to be happening at Asbury. Like we're hearing the same rumblings of like people just showing up from other places. And then it's like God moves, impacts their lives. And then they kind of take it back to their towns and stuff. And it's like, that's how revival spreads. Yeah. And like, literally, I'm talking about like Relevant was like birthed out of it at the Toronto one. Is where the Lord, I mean, I don't want to over spiritualize it, but like I was praying for vision and calling and the Lord gave me the idea for Relevant. And I literally on the hotel nightstand pad wrote down the business plan for Relevant. And like it was birthed there. And so like, and then in the 2000s, there was a big college movement of like 24/7 prayer. Relevant's first cover story in our print magazine in 2003 was of Pete Gregg and the 24/7 prayer movement that was happening in London. And these prayer rooms were happening everywhere. That's where Sean Foyt got his start in Tulsa doing like 24/7 prayer rooms. And like there was like this college movement in the early 2000s of prayer and intercession and worship revival that was truly happening. And a lot of universities and a lot of churches started doing 24/7 prayer rooms, like as an outgrowth of that for 7, 8, 9 years. It was like a real movement. It was interesting because that movement was happening in tandem with like the emergent movement, like kind of deconstruction and stuff. And so it was like Relevant had this foot in both worlds. It was really interesting time, the 2000s. And then it's like we haven't heard much about that in the last decade because I feel like faith has become so partisan and everything's changed, and it's like, so for this like organic thing to be sparking again is just so exciting for me because like we, like Derek said, need a reset. The church needs a reset. And if this is organically happening at the college movement, college level, like I just hope that this is a spark of a flame that spreads widely, Well,
and too, it's to your point, it's organic. And, we kind of talked about maybe not a dry spell, but it's been a while since I think something like this has entered sort of like the cultural religious zeitgeist, an event like this. But it's also not being like commodified or anything. It's not like, hey, you can pay tickets for this tour date or this revival is going to break or whatever. And I'm not bashing any one thing or another, but I'm just saying this isn't something that seems like there's like a plan or strategy behind it. It seems extremely earnest, which I think is a really positive thing.
The other thing that's really unique about this one is all the stuff I was just talking about from 15, 20 years ago was more birthed out of the charismatic stream, like Bethel and IHOP and that stream, and this, if you watch any of the video, is very Baptist. And the people talking about it, Ed Stetzers and other kind of prominent Baptist pastors and stuff are talking about revival. And the stuff that was happening 15, 20 years ago really didn't jump over into the Baptist stream. It really kind of stayed more on the charismatic side of things. And so like that is really fascinating to me, is that this is being birthed out of the non-charismatic stream, which, hey, many streams, but one river, I love what God's doing. But it's like, that is what's unique to me about this, is that this isn't typically a church stream that talks about revival, so yay. I mean, I think it's awesome.
For sure.
Cool. What else you got?
Very much switching gears, but I know we've talked a lot about the economy and wages and things like that, but there is a crazy new study that came out from Zillow.
Eggs. Are you going to talk about Taylor Swift not knowing that eggs are expensive from the Grammys?
If we could just have the entire time to talk about Taylor Swift, I would do it. What Cameron and I were talking about, for people that may not know, is there was a joke at the Grammys a few weeks ago about from Trevor Noah telling Taylor Swift like to get the Swifties on the price of eggs, and she was kind of like, okay, whatever.
Like the clip is like she has no clue that eggs are expensive, like, and everybody's like, she's so out of touch. Anyway, that's not what this piece is about.
I mean, if you had all the money she had, you could. Like I told you, she got eggs.
Buy all the eggs you want.
I don't blame her for being out of touch. You know what I'm saying?
She's been hoarding eggs for decades, for most of her career out. This is not surprising. She's a big egg person.
Did it come out that she, out of all the celebrities, like they tracked the planes and she uses her private plane more than any other pop culture celebrity? Like she'll fly to go to the Whole Foods and get eggs in her private jet. She uses it for everything.
Again,
use her private jet a lot.
Look, I'm trying to tell y'all, God has not blessed me with the Tay-Tay money, because I'll be a fool.
Yet.
Like, I don't lie.
Well, here's the most concerning part about that story. It's been underreported. She converted that jet to run on egg yolk a while back. And
that's the shortage. That's causing the shortage.
Now it's a whole thing.
Everybody's saying that it's the avian flu that's killing all the chickens. It's not. It's her aviation. People are getting it wrong. It's aviation. Right. Taylor Swift's aviation is creating the egg shortage.
At the time, she thought she was doing the right thing for climate change by not burning fossil fuels. Eggs were, you couldn't go anywhere without stepping over eggs. I mean, you boil dozens of them at Easter just to paint them.
So you're saying she flies her plane so much that by you converting it to egg fuel, she has caused the global egg shortage.
She tried to do the right thing. Yeah. I mean, she's basically doing egg souffles, flying around most of the United States day to day, and causing big problems down here on Earth.
Anyway, the economy. What's going on, Emily?
It physically pains me to hear Taylor Swift slander. Yes, the economy, not caused by Taylor Swift. No, this new report from Zillow is equally as crazy as the egg thing. Zillow found that it takes nearly 4 full-time minimum wage workers to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So if you want to live in a 2-bedroom apartment and you make minimum wage, you need either 3 roommates or you need to have full-time jobs, or 4 full-time jobs.
4 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
To afford a standard
2-bedroom apartment.
Average rent rate at the 30% measure that your housing cost isn't more than 30% of your income.
Yeah.
You have to have 4 incomes. So that means that the standard rent is more than a full annual salary if you make minimum wage. It's just crazy. So like the affordability crisis.
And obviously it depends on what city you live in and stuff. But I mean, on average, it's if you make minimum wage and you if you are in a 2-bedroom apartment, you're going to have 3 roommates. So, and that means you're also sharing.
But that's just like normal cities.
You're like a fully grown adult.
I heard the same study for Austin, Texas specifically, is you have to have 6 roommates.
Yeah.
Like the average apartment in Austin is so much more than minimum wage there.
Nashville too. You come out here, Nashville, especially for the people that are natives, we're not used to paying these numbers. Like these were numbers you would hear in like Chicago or, you know.
Well, I mean,
LA.
when I was looking for an apartment, you know, I have a full-time salary job. I'm making more than minimum wage. I was still kind of having to be really cautious about places I was living because there were so many places that it was like, I can't afford to live there. And it's like, I have a very good paying job. And it's like, if I'm struggling to find a place and like having to look in all these places, someone who, you know, for whatever reason can only get like a minimum wage job, I don't know how they're like finding homes. Like, I don't know how they're able to afford any of this.
Well, thankfully, there may be some relief in sight for, you know, the housing shortage, just because like new development basically ceased at the beginning of the pandemic when all the supply chain stuff started. And then when interest rates were raised to kind of stave off inflation, it discouraged new home buying. And so, you know, basically the real estate market just froze. And when that happens, you know, the supply completely freezes, even though nothing really happened. The demand is still there. But it does look like, you know, now that interest rates are leveling off and, you know, builders are more likely to borrow, but also the supply chain has been, you know, like you can actually purchase lumber and supplies right now. It does look like hopefully in the next year or so, there'll be some easing so that, you know, there's some more affordable houses out there.
Yeah, but they're not saying the rent rates are going to go down anytime soon. Like this is just the new norm. You know, it's going to be like wages need to catch up sort of a thing. But
it's either going to be wages need to catch up or people are going to have to start losing properties. Like it's one or the other, that we either raise wages or stuff gets so bad that all of these people that have, like I saw a dude in Phoenix had 95 Airbnbs and was wondering why more than half of them were not rented during the Super Bowl. And I'm like, bro, first of all, you got 95 Airbnbs. I'm all up for capitalism, but come on, big dog. If you want to know why people can't get a house, it's because this man got 95 Airbnbs and nobody's using right now. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, that's what caused the housing crisis in the last 3 years is that investment bankers came in, investment groups came in and bought up all the open housing supply and then jacked up the prices to flip them and things like that to make money for their shareholders. And so like it priced out average consumers. And the same thing's happening with the rent, with apartments. These apartments are being built by or bought up by major investment groups, hedge funds and stuff like that. And they have to have a certain return and yield. So that's why they're pushing rates up 30% a year and stuff like that, because like it's not like a landlord anymore. It's like major hedge funds. Blackstone. Blackstone, stuff like that. And that's what's changed in the real estate market in the last several years. It's like because people were making so much money over the last 5-6 years flipping houses and house prices were going up, then investors came in. Now, my hope is that with the apartment prices and housing stuff like freezing up, investors will get less interested, try to offload those properties back to landlords and like, you know, get out of the market, you know, so things can like get back to normal, but not likely. So you got to just make a lot of friends and have a lot of roommates if you're a minimum wage worker right now. That's sad.
Or look at a career in being a fighter jet pilot. Looks like there's going to be a big boom in that profession, especially if you're a deadeye, because considering one of our main pilots missed the balloon first shot, look, I feel like we audition in the next round of recruits here. I saw Top Gun. Should not be that hard.
And I'm going to say, avoid hot air balloon jobs. Like, don't take anybody up on a hot air balloon.
Can you imagine right now? Can you imagine somebody's up there like they rented a hot air balloon to like propose or something at
Valentine's
Twilight?
Day.
Oh my gosh!
They get
And they
destroyed
get
by a
shot down.
missile. Oh my gosh.
Yo.
Or just some random like Billy Bob with his like sees it up there like and he's gonna like launch stuff at it.
He's
Yeah,
like,
doing
I'm
the right
protecting
thing.
America.
Yeah, doing.
He's not.
I'm protecting America. That's a Chinese hot air balloon. I ain't taking no
Hey,
chances.
you just better make
Oh
sure
my
it's
gosh.
not like a white balloon with weird writing. Make sure it's the multicolored rainbow balloon. Like we all know, multicolored. You don't feel good about the chances with the multicolored rainbow balloon.
Not in this. Look, balloon fever swept the country. Okay, yeah. I mean, people on the ground are going to be throwing rocks at you. Okay, much less fighter jets. Just stay out of the
True
sky
that.
for a
Yeah,
couple weeks. Just let
it
this thing
off a
cool
little
down.
bit.
A
The
little
block
bit,
is hot.
You know?
The block is hot.
All right, what's the
Yeah.
last thing you have, Emily?
Last thing I want to talk about is actually a really cool story. There is this Disney star named Joshua Bassett. He's 22 years old. He is a singer-songwriter.
What's he been in?
He's been on, give me a second to say all of this, High School Musical, the series. It was a show on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And he was the main actor.
Jesse's a big fan of that.
Oh, obviously.
I felt like it was right up your lane.
We meant his Emily. We meant his other stuff. We knew that one.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so Joshua Bassett. Now, I will say this: when Emily and I were talking about the rundown before the show, I was like, I don't know. I mean, this guy's kind of a Disney star. Does anybody know who he is? And Emily goes, he's the ex-boyfriend that Olivia Rodrigo wrote her entire album about. I was like, he's the drive down your street guy? Yeah.
Wow.
And she's like, yeah, that's the guy, because they were both Disney stars together and they dated when they did the show. I was like, okay, it makes the show then. If he's the ex.
He's the driver's.
that
I feel
became
bad
famous.
that he's kind of only known for that because he has his own stuff, but it's like, no, you're the driver's license boy. Like, we know that.
Hey, that's what she get,
Yeah,
bro.
you
They shouldn't have
promised
broke her heart.
Yeah,
It's
now
his
she's
fault.
driving down your street all alone. What kind of jerk are you,
Side
bro?
note,
Yeah,
before
we've
we
heard
go
the
any
song.
further, I love that pop stars are doing diss tracks. Like, you know, it was one thing that was kind of just for rappers at one point in time, battle rap, but diss tracks from pop stars, I love it. All right.
They got some good ones.
But the problem is like everything is game now. Like somebody like Jake Gyllenhaal is out here catching strays because
Good.
it's like, wait, is that Taylor Swift song about him? I don't know about this guy.
Look, that's
it's
how
like,
it is. 50 Cent and Ja Rule, man. They should have. Hey, they opened up a can, and it's what it is.
I like the
They
idea
moved to
that
Taylor
50 Cent
Swift and
Ja Rule-
Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah. 50 Cent influenced
There's a
Olivia
direct
Rodrigo.
line from 50 Cent and Ja Rule to Taylor Swift, and then Olivia Rodrigo to Joshua Bassett, who
Come
we're
on,
about to
that's
tell you
what I'm
about.
saying.
but there's dudes like John Mayer who every time Taylor Swift released music, he's like, oh boy, here we go.
And I'll
Here
say
we go.
that he's the worst one of her exes. I will say that forever. He's absolutely the worst one. So he deserves.
According to her, according to the perspective of her.
Have you ever heard Dear John?
He's gotten sober. He's a different person now.
Again.
Let people grow.
And two, you're only hearing one side. I'm not. Listen, please, listeners. I have no horse in this race. There's very few things I could
Throw
care
on a
less
Mobb
about,
Deep
but-
instrumental and let Tay Tay rock over that. That's what I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to hear her rock over some
Derek gets
90s Wu-Tang Clan, and she just go crazy on Cream. Like just let Taylor just destroy John Mayer over an Alchemist beat. I love it.
Do I have some songs for you?
Dude, have you followed the IG account? There I Messed It Up or something like
I ain't
that,
heard
where this guy takes like what you're talking about, like Wu-Tang tracks with like pop songs and like mixes them, and like you watch his sound waves.
Oh, he's
and
getting a
then at the
follow
end, he's
right
like,
now.
yeah, dude, it's so funny. I found it because of Questlove. Like he finally did a Roots track, and so Questlove was like, "It's my favorite account," and whatever. So I started following it. You'll love it. Anyway, what is the
All I'm
Joshua
saying is
Bassett
listen
news?
to Shoulda, Coulda, Woulda, and you'll understand why people don't like John Mayer. Anyways, back to Joshua Bassett. This has nothing to do with his career. He actually became a Christian recently. He like sort of at the beginning of the year, he kind of started posting on social media just some things about clearly he was going on some sort of faith journey. And then on Monday, he posted a video. He got baptized at Bethel. And he had just some really powerful stuff to say. We actually have the video if you want to play it, Jason.
My name's Joshua, and long story short, I grew up Christian, and I ran the other way as far as I could go in pursuit of truth.
To
that
Olivia
only
Rodriguez.
ended in addiction, depression, suicidal ideation, eating disorders, etc. And no other teacher gave me anywhere near the peace that Jesus Christ did.
All right. Shondo.
And I'm here to publicly declare him as my Lord and Savior.
Let's go. Hey, look, if
All right,
I got
Joshua.
this by Olivia Rodrigo,
Yeah.
I'd probably be a Christian too. But get this by a pop star gotta be the hardest thing to swallow.
Jailhouse religion.
Oh,
You lose it all. You're on your knees. Like then you find God.
I'm fighting God. Bro, I'm fighting God.
Joshua hit bottom, found Jesus because of Olivia's diss track.
Bro,
that's amazing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, good for
Yeah,
him.
nah,
Welcome to the family,
Yeah,
Joshua.
Much love, Joshua.
And I just love that he's very like,
That's funny.
I mean, he has like millions of followers, especially, and a lot of young followers too. So
Yeah.
kind of like what we were saying, like it seems like there might be something in this next generation that something's stirring. We'll see.
Let's see. All right. Well, you can watch that video, and there's a whole lot more that we're covering every day over at relevantmagazine.com. Make sure to check it out. Make it part of your daily web browsing. All right. Thanks, Emily. All right. Stay tuned. Up next, SEU Worship joins us.
Look, so what? Goofy, yeah, he chose us. I got no luck. God's son showed up in the whip. Cross on my back, tat on my neck. Who wanna go up? Act like you know. Act like you know. My brother in Christ, you wrong. What kind of time you want? Tell me whose side you on. Someone should write your songs. My motto is Jesus in therapy, so I don't need a bottle to carry me. He blessed me with a model, she married me. Only hobby is blocking you Pharisees. Don't give me
You're listening to John Keith and No Big Deal. The song is Chose. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Our guest today is Daniel Rivera from SEU Worship. They're an emerging worship collective from Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. They've been creating some exciting new music, so we sat down with them to discuss what the team's doing and their mission for reaching this generation of the church. Here's our conversation with Daniel Rivera.
What are some things you've noticed about this generation? Like, both the things they're struggling with and the things that they're passionate about?
Wow.
Yeah, easy question, I know.
It's something we think about and talk about a lot. You know, I'm 31, and all of our college students are 18 to 22-year-olds, basically. And I love aging out as a millennial. It's like really funny, like that. It's really refreshing for me for people to be talking about a new generation, because I was like tired of getting picked on as a millennial. And there's a lot I want to say about Gen Z. I'm kind of stalling right now thinking about what I want to say about our batch of students, but you asked specifically what they're struggling with. I think one of the things they're struggling with is authentic peer-to-peer relationships that have appropriate boundaries and that aren't purely surface and digital. So that's kind of been fun for us to navigate with the team up close and personal. Like, okay, so how do I be in community and relationship with people? And because that's kind of the beauty of the kingdom of God, is that we know one another, we bear, each other's burdens and all that stuff, right? So it's like that community piece is so rich and wonderful to watch them walk through. I think another thing they're struggling with is kind of where they fit in to the plan as of right now when it comes to the church at large. And specifically, I'm talking about artists right now, because Gen Z is just the most... I'm so excited by our I'm just so excited by our college students. They're so creative, they're so smart, and their output is crazy. So one of the classic sociological differentiators between millennials and Gen Z is that millennials are, we digest a lot, right? Like, so we're consumers is the word. We consume a lot of content, we invented binge watching. But then for Gen Z, it'd be creators. Like, they don't actually just look at their iPhone as something, or whatever, their device, whatever that is, as something to consume content, but then to create content. And in my office, this conversation came up actually yesterday, really funny. Like, I was commenting to one of our staff who's a part-time student worker. He just turned 21 yesterday. And we were talking about the 10-year gap between us and generational differences. And I said, like, it still throws me off that at any moment you guys will just pull out your phone and make a video, as if like I constantly forget that my phone can make quality video. Like, I just don't think of it like that. It's a place I go to do email or text, you know what I mean? And it's like, they think of it as a creator kind of tool for them at all times. And so social media for them is more than just a place to digest content. It's a place to really be and kind of exist and to create and make things. So it's fun to watch how all that stuff integrates. I think the takeaways for me is that we're not doing nearly enough in those spaces in social media to really reach them and to show that there are good ways to, exist and be kingdom people in that space.
Waves breathe upon my faith. There's a place where there are no limits, and you won't relent till I'm in.
What can the church do to make sure that we are not only reaching those students in those places, but encouraging them as well?
I think a big piece is giving them the keys earlier than they deserve it. Like, let them have access to the login of your Instagram, like the youth Instagram account, the church Instagram account. Like, just be radical delegators of all that stuff and let them loose. And it's all, you can always take something down if you don't like it. Like, sure. Just let them. Like, I've loved doing that. I've loved letting people kind of loose and letting them take a peek at what it could look like. I think for us, we feel very much like we have to we still think about content as this, like, it has to be so polished and put together. But one of the reasons I think like TikTok or Instagram or any of these have been so, effective with that next gen piece is that they are so casual and it's so invitational that way. And in some ways that kind of reflects more of our spirituality anyway, shouldn't it? Right? Like, actually, if you just turn the camera on right now, are you the person that you would be if you could? So, and to this point, back to my conversation I was having with our student worker yesterday. His name's Josiah, and Josiah goes, the most millennial thing you do, Dan, is you do the millennial pause. Have you heard about the millennial pause when you make a video?
But now I'm going to be hyper aware of it. What is it?
The millennial pause is whenever we start recording, there's like a 2-second pause. We go, hey,
Yeah.
like we make sure it's recording. and he's like, literally, I never do that. I just push record and start talking. And I'm like, that's so funny. But that's like us. Like, it's like, I want to make sure it's working. And I mean, they just literally plug and play, make it go, push. It's not necessarily about, and this is the piece that I think is most helpful probably, is that it's not about the product itself as much as it's about, is it authentically you? And if it's authentically you over the course of time, then people will gravitate towards that, because more and more you can see through the polish and you just want to get to the heart of something, you know? And it's funny, we'll do like, we'll spend a day in the studio and make these really cool choreographed, you know, videos and put them on social media. But the ones that work the best are when we're like, just throw the camera up there. Let's just do it really like in this, you know, I don't know, hallway, whatever. That stuff does the best. And I think the authenticity piece is what it's about.
I wanna be with you more than Sundays. I wanna know more than just my mother's faith. 'Cause that's not enough to get through the rough. Oh, I need a mind.
How do you feel like having, you know, because I feel like every year you're always adding these like new voices to your team, like as new students come in. So like, how does that newness affect like the creative process and like the music that you're putting out?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Well, first of all, the new voices, especially the young people, they don't let you get away with non-cool stuff at all.
A blessing and a curse. Yeah.
Oh, it's so humbling. I love it. Like, you'll do something and then they just look at you and you're like, oh, that wasn't it, was it? They're like, no, back to the drawing board, Pastor Dan. I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board. Let's go. And so I love that part. And then the new voices, it honestly just inspires me. I think a huge piece, we have this conversation all the time, is like, we have to learn how to kind of get out of the way for the next generation. It's so easy as things grow to become a gatekeeper. And for all of us, we're constantly having that conversation of, we got to pass this on. We got to keep on bringing more people into the fold. We got to keep on, like, this thing has to feel like a river, not a lake. It can't all deposit into a thing. It's got to feel like the river's just getting wider and wider, and more stuff's coming through it and through it and through it. And so it's just a huge cultural piece for us. I know it wouldn't fit everywhere, but it fits for us to kind of have this element of always bringing in new people. So the positives of it are the creative piece. Like, it's always inspiring us, bringing in fresh ideas, fresh perspectives, fresh insights. And then the kind of like kingdom ministry part of it that's really cool is there's this natural sort of Paul Timothy mentoring thing that happens of, now I get to be with students that are trying to figure this out. And if I'm doing it right, if we're doing it right as a staff, then we're actually helping them to answer the questions that would have been stumbling blocks in some ways for us to try and get to a more mature version of our ministry. And it's just fun. We love it. It's super rewarding. Not without its challenges, because it's certainly easy. I mean, it's certainly easier just to bring the vets together and make it happen. But when we go this model of kind of like, we're always trying to rope in the next generation, we're always trying to hand it off and still kind of keep that like both and, the mentoring and the up and coming. Yeah. We just find it to be so rewarding. And I feel like God smiles on it, honestly, and breathes on it, because it kind of forces us into a rhythm that I think is actually just really kingdom.
That was Daniel Rivera. If you like what you heard and you want to check out some other kind of emerging worship bands that we're excited about, just head over to relevantmagazine.com and check out the article we did a couple days ago. 5 new worship groups you need to know. They're highlighted in there, as well as some other great ones. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. You're listening to Wallace. The song is Funeral. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we got talking about the fact that because the cost of living is so high, Emily clearly moved into a Home Goods. Looking at her back wall. No, she didn't move into a Home Goods. She decorated her apartment. And it got us talking about Home Goods and impulse buying and buying weird things like Jesse's rain sticks and things like that. So we asked you, what's the weirdest item you've ever impulsively bought while you were out shopping? You hit us up at Relevant Podcast on Twitter, and here's a few.
Yo, it's some doozies on here, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. Hey, Noah Hodge, why did you buy pumpkin spice goat cheese? I'm trying to understand.
I'll be honest, that actually sounds kind of good.
No, it does not. What? Emily Brown.
What?
I would. Here's the thing.
Would you put it like on a cracker?
Well, yeah, I'm not just gonna eat a chunk of goat cheese by itself.
What does it taste like on a cracker? Like a that sounds disgusting.
Listen, I love a good charcuterie board. I feel like that would be a great piece to add, and then you get a little taste and stuff.
That is a charcuterie board. See, that's what that's going to be. Charcuterie is what that is.
Pumpkin spice goat cheese on a charcuterie board is like that random cherry chocolate in the box of chocolates, and you bite into it and you're like, crap, I got the cherry one. You get the cheese, the pumpkin spice goat cheese, and you're
it's the equivalent of, I remember I used to have buddies that when we would go after like basketball practice to we'd go to like a Ruby Tuesday sometimes to get the salad bar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, remember when Ruby Tuesdays had a legit salad bar?
Oh, yeah.
And it was all you can eat. And we would have that person in the group that'd be like, hey man, just fill me up a plate and bring it back. You know, because they didn't want to pay for the salad bar, but it was all you can eat, you know, little salad bar shenanigan there. Well, the prank was you would go get the pudding at the end, get a nice base layer of pudding, and then make the salad on top of it. So there are a few bites in before they hit the pudding middle. You know,
no, Jesse, that is
Emily.
disgusting.
You're talking about the same.
That's what
an
pudding incredibly different thing.
That's terrible.
Pumpkin spice.
But listen, I'm just
that's
gonna
what
say,
you do if you put that on the charcuterie board.
I'm just gonna say this because I love y'all, and when I say y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna say this specifically: white women. Y'all cannot put pumpkin spice on everything. I love y'all. Look.
Derek, they disagree.
I mean, I'm just going to speak for them.
I hear you. I have to live my truth. That's all I'm going to say.
Look, I'm just saying.
I can't disagree, though.
Goat cheese is that's a wild thing. Like, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I run into that on a charcuterie board in the wild. It's not, dinner.
I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest thing. I'm saying I would buy it and try it. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not an immediate no.
Hey, that Relevant bag is great because I'm like, I only got a limited amount of money to spend. I'm not finna buy no pumpkin spice goat cheese, dog. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
I was gonna say when people look at the fall of modern Babylon, it started with pumpkin spice goat cheese. They went too far. They played God. It's
only so far you can go.
Don't do that.
Pumpkins and cheese were never meant to intertwine.
The lattes, I was with that. The creamers, I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? Pumpkin spice, the little cheesecakes, I'm with that. Now we going on into the goat cheese. We can't do that.
Oh, it's going way past that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Kristen McCaslin says that she bought pajamas at a grocery store once. at Kroger specifically. I had no idea that Kroger sold pajamas.
Where did they? What
Kroger,
section did you buy that out of? No, what? Hold on, wait a second. There's a big Kroger.
Like, is there a Kroger that's like super Walmart that they have non-groceries there?
Yeah. You can buy like
Where?
clothes. You can buy like patio furniture. You can buy.
No.
See, you go get your.
You lying, Emily Brown. This gotta
there's
be
one
in
in
Texas.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's one in my hometown. But yeah, like you can buy tons of stuff. There's like a whole section that's like lifestyle things, whatever.
Texas
Yeah, like a
doing
bunch of
too
clothes and
much.
stuff.
Texas doing
Everything's
too
bigger
I've
in
seen
Texas.
pajamas at like Rite Aid before. when I see like Rite Aid pajamas, I get curious. Like you ever go down, you walk in a Rite Aid and like on an aisle, they have some random sweatshirts and like flannel pants. And you just are very curious about who made the trip to Rite Aid today and walked out with 3 new Hanes sweatshirts and some flannel pants along with their
it's
deodorant.
people.
That's
It's
true.
people that shop at Rite Aid. Like they got a basket. They going up and down every
Yeah.
aisle. Like Rite Aid got a. They about 62 years old, but they there.
Yeah, can one of y'all read the William Hahn one? I can't pronounce that word, so I'm not going to try.
William Hahn.
I don't think anyone can. Spicy dried caterpillars at a gas station.
The next line.
Oogadoogoo?
Caviar of the Sala.
It's a hall.
No, not that. The next
William
line.
Hahn is a traveler. We're just gonna say
The
that because he
Ooga
said
William
he was
Hahn bought spicy dried caterpillar.
at a gas station in Oogla Boogla, and he had him with
Oompa Loompa?
IMB SBC president and Dr. Paul Chitwood, and they ate him. Listen, I don't know why y'all did that, but I'm praying for y'all. This probably
Spicy
better,
dried caterpillars.
probably tasted better than pumpkin spice.
Okay, no.
Goat
doodle
A
cheese.
caterpillar, a bug. You would rather
Yeah,
eat
it
a
probably
bug
tastes-
than goat
Yes,
cheese.
spicy. Yes, because you could put hot sauce on everything,
Yeah.
but not pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Anna Lawrence said she bought baking soda once. So
That sounds
there's more where that
awful.
came from.
Bold choices.
Go check them out. All right, it's time for this week's.
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
So for this week's question of the week, we want you to ask us your question of the week. So this is an Ask the Cast edition of the feedback segment. So hit us up, just ask us anything, and we will answer them on next week's show. Could be life questions, balloon questions, revival, whatever you want to know. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and also you can message us on Instagram at Relevant Magazine, and we will we'll do it next week. I like these. These are some of my favorite episodes when they send in questions. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Daniel Rivera from SEU Worship for joining us. Make sure to check out the article we did with them and 4 other kind of emerging worship groups. It's a great little roundup that we did over at relevantmagazine.com. It's right there. You can find it on the front page. Also, while you're at the site, make sure to check out Relevant Plus. It's our best way to experience our content. You can get this podcast ad-free. You get ad-free reading at relevantmagazine.com, unlimited reading as well. You get a special subscriber podcast, and you get a beautiful ad-free enhanced edition of our quarterly digital magazine. There's more stuff in the pipeline for this year as well. Plans start as little as $250 a month. If you're annoyed by ads and you want to support our work, Relevant Plus is right there. You can find out more by clicking the tab there at relevantmagazine.com. Okay, on that note, we will wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
I think we put Stapleton in the fighter jet.
Relevant Podcast Network.